So I will be teaching you guys the rest of the year. So today we're going to go over 2.2, page 46 in your books. We're going to go over half of it today because it's Monday. I just got back from a long week, and so we're just going to make sure to call it Thanksgiving. That's what y'all. Huh? Are we all there? There you go. You're fine. Aaron, you have your book?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to see some of my, I'm gonna have to see some AA knowledge. Some what? AA clips. Some AA.
You know how they call Michael Porter Jr. ball? It's the same way. Dejan possession of tears moments.
Say it. Stop it.
It was bad one time. So we're
Let's
playing-
go!
We're playing,
Hey, you're trying to learn.
we're playing, team A. And somebody came up with a rebound, gave me the ball, I got it, I went up, took 9 pats.
When did you guys scrimmage? On what? Wednesday?
At West, it's at West.
Page 46. 46.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Come watch this.
What time is it? 6 o'clock?
Come watch
You
the
can
possession.
pop out the watch.
The possession ended right there.
No, actually, in high school ball, I don't play like that.
All right. So independence, early America, 13 colonies. This is where they started their revolt against Britain, and they were still under the rule of Britain at this time. So in theory, they were governed from London, but London was more than 3,000 miles away, and it took nearly 2 months to sail that distance. So if you're under rule of someone who's 3,000 miles away, it takes 2 months to get there. Are you really going to want to be under their rule, listen to them, or make your own form of government?
Heck,
We're going to do what we want. Do that. Do whatever you want, exactly. So the colonists decided,
that's like if you two were on the other side of the building for 30 minutes, and we just sit here and hear.
sure. And so the colonists began to self-govern themselves, and even some of the 13 made their own legislature. So many found the power of the purse. Remember what the power of the purse is? Yeah, it's like who controls the money. Who controls the money, exactly. So the king would send out, from London would send out people to kind of monitor each of the colonies. And then they often bent the royal governor to their will by not voting for the money for his salary until they came to terms with it. So basically they kind of be like, we're not going to give you your money or vote for your money unless you do what we say. So often they would convince whoever to do whatever money talks.
Chloe Moore, please report to Mr. Ginn's classroom.
Okay, so what were these people called? No, the government.
Governors, just called governors, really. Royal governors. Just people who went to invite the king to go over and watch everybody in the 13 colonies. Nothing special.
How did, so like, before they had them, you know, you said that the selling distance was 2 months.
Yes.
How did they even communicate back and forth?
Just send letters and someone will go over there, they wait, they read theirs, and they come back.
So I couldn't deal with that.
So honestly, 4 months, you're not waiting, you're waiting to get a flag for 4 months. So by the mid-1700s, relationship between the colonists had become, in fact, if not a form of federal. And this meant that the central government in London was responsible for the colonial defense for foreign affairs. A uniform system of money and credit and common market for colonial trade, and beyond that, the colonies were allowed a fairly wide amount of self-rule. So shortly after King George III came to the throne in 1760. However, Britain began to deal firmly with its colonies. So new taxes were levied to help pay the heavy costs that incurred by the British during the French and Indian War. Parliament and King George reasoned that the colonists should pay to share those costs. What is Parliament? Can you guess what Parliament is?
That's like, I don't know, like they decide what to do.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of like to help the king, monitor the king, and rule with them. Kind of like the form of government, one of our branches of government, just one of them. And then the king. That's who would rule over people in England, and they would also rule the colonies. So with all that, they decided to do taxation without representation. We know what that is.
Yeah, so they tax them without somebody representing.
Yeah, they, same thing. Taxation, ooh, I lost my, no, sorry. Subdivision. Don't need, we're good. Just tax them basically, so if I'm teaching right now in Notre Dame, not actually on the school board, nothing, not even hired or anything, just student teachers, sadly, working here for free, while Mr. Ackerman's on his phone, this relaxed with this period. So it'd be me paying them taxes for stuff, for me to be here, for me to be on the Wi-Fi, and I'm not even associated with the school board. So that's kind of how it was for the people, the colonists for England. They weren't even a part of England, had their own legislature, but still had to pay their taxes. So a few of the taxes they had to pay, the Sugar Act, which required the heavily enforced taxes on sugar and other goods imported to America. So literally, the British taxed the colonies on every single thing. Like, almost poop, pee, eat, look at the sky, like everything. Stamp Act taxed printed paper, including legal documents, newspapers, and playing cards. Townshend Act taxed glass, lead, paint, paper, and tea. The Tea Act regulated the tax on tea to favor the East India Company, giving them a monopoly of uncutting local merchants. The Intolerable Acts, so named by the colonists, included the closing port of Boston, so the colonists paid the tea dumped during the Boston Tea Party. You all know what happened in the Boston Tea Party, right? Yeah. Dumped a bunch of tea because they were mad about the tea acts, and so this is the Intolerable Acts they put on. So, page 48.
Didn't they like mess up?
They dressed up as Native Americans
Wait, yeah, why?
Yeah, what?
so that if once Britain found out about it, they wouldn't automatically assume that it was the colonists.
Just get out.
So they just wanted to do that.
And the French and Indian War had just occurred, so
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
they just wanted to do that.
So kind of-
It was not about that action. They didn't want to do this.
they were about that action.
They stood on business
We did stand on
because they did dump the
They
tea.
did it, but they had to dress up.
But then they also won.
So dressing up was actually-
That's just smart.
I can't
This
get
is
smart.
smart.
That
I like
was-
it.
It was real smart because
That was strategic.
It's smart, but they ain't still on up to this.
All right, so during all this, the colonies decided to get closer together. Okay, we don't like what Britain's doing to us. We need to change. So the New England Confederation was a league of friendship for defense against Native American tribes. So you go back real quick. So taxation, basically, with the colonies not really being separated from England, their only line of defense was the British Army. They didn't have a military yet until the American Revolution that happened probably a few years after all this. So they were taxed to be protected during the French and Indian War. And so the New England Confederation tried to come up with their own defense so they didn't have to pay taxes. The New Albany Plan was basically kind of a militia of defense for each of the 13 colonies to be able to trade, tax, and collect custom duties all together. Yeah, start passing out. And pass out the cash too. I'll explain what this is all in a second. So, the Stamp Act, which is really what drove people over the edge, and was really the start of the American Revolution. So the Stamp Act of 1765, the law required that the use of stamps on the legal documents, certain business agreements, and on newspapers. And they amounted to taxation without representation. And on October 1765, the 9 colonies, all except Georgia, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and Virginia, sent delegates to a meeting in New York to the Stamp Act of Congress, and then prepared a strong protest called the Declaration of Rights and Grievances against the British policies, and sent that to the king.
So, like, I know the Stamp Act is, but what did it do?
What did that?
So, that,
Just tax, just have the tax, just tax. Like, tax on everything, they have to pay the money, like.
I like putting the stamp on there, that means that.
So if you put a stamp on something like legal documents, all that stuff, honestly, like,
And paper and everything, right, so like.
Yeah, it was any type of
any type of document, like a letter.
I know that, so if you put the
Tax everything.
so if you put the stamp on there, you have to pay.
Yeah,
That's just,
pay
that's
extra.
better than for the, that's very.
You gotta pay extra. You might have to pay that, like, we still pay taxes today.
It's not as bad as Britain used to pay, because you still pay taxes.
Get down to the nitty
That's
gritty.
why the 16th Amendment is my least favorite amendment,
Yes.
income tax.
Oh, I wonder if I still know my amendments, I think I do. I know there was.
Stop playing with me.
We're the first thing.
Ooh, I need
one.
I need the ones also. I mean, it's awful hard.
You need the ones?
Need the ones, give them 10 and 5.
Okay, just add 110 and above.
19 to issue
Okay.
21.
Hey, if I gave you ones, give them to Mr. Riggs.
What?
Give them to Mr. Riggs.
Is there
Okay, go
any
ahead.
ones? I gotta go one up.
And then you need 110 and 15. 110 and 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I know. 110 and 15.
I'm talking about tax.
110, 15.
Talking about tax.
I'm not making any money.
Alright, so, the Parliament repealed the Stamp Acts and new laws and policies tied the colonies more closely to London. So this is the start of the Boston Tea Party. So basically, they were just protesting, mob violence broke out, boycotting everything. And on March 5th, 1770, British troops in Boston fired on a crowd, killing 5 people. What became known as the Boston Massacre was the biggest killing or most amount of people dead in America at the time. It was 5 people. So with that, we get the Boston Tea Party, which again, dressed up as Native Americans, dumped everything out to protest taxation on tea. So, we're gonna take a test, I think, a quiz Wednesday. We gotta finish this tomorrow. But I don't wanna go over all of it. I want us to relax. Take a turkey. There's scissors, glue, colored pencil. Now, what we're gonna do is I will pick the best looking one and give you guys 2 extra credit points on the quiz. So supplies is up here. We're done.
Do I have to pay for this shot?
Why do you have money?
Yeah. I'm not just gonna get.
Are you taxing me?
No.
Play with me.
This is a red button.
I'm not like.
Got that. Nope. Let's hear about this. Yes. Give me seconds.
Sure. I want to try to stay. Some people just sit up here and take everything. They take forever to take the color.
That, okay.
I love it. Hey. Because all it takes is this right here. That's all it takes.
I can really show you some of that concept.
Imagine.